Hi there, this is Paige, who is Stamp Girl here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to share with you some cards that I made using an older paper pumpkin kit. Now I do alternative card ideas with Deb Hauk with current paper pumpkin kits, but I have quite a few on my shelf that are older, that were untouched, unopened, unused. And visiting with my friend Linda, who is Linda Kaufman here on YouTube, she has the same situation in her craft room. So Linda and I decided to find the kits we had in common that weren't used and to go ahead and challenge each other to use them by the end of the month. Now I have several videos going up today. I have new project Same Paper with Deb Hauk. I have Color Collab with Candy and Fran. I have Pinspiration Collaboration hosted by Creations by Kimber, and I have the Great American Stash Bash, the card version that is put on by Heather's Handmade Haven. And then what you are watching is Canned Paper Pumpkin Challenge that I'm doing with Linda, who is Linda Kaufman here on YouTube. So we pulled out from June 2019 a paper pumpkin kit called A Little Smile. Now I had done the alternative cards with this kit way back in June 2019. Excuse me, and I'll leave a link down below to that video if you care to check out my full-size card that I made from that kit. But I had bought a refill for this paper pumpkin kit because I enjoyed it so much. And this kit, called A Little Smile, made little tiny cards, and it made 16 of them. You got 4 different card bases, 4 of each, and then 2 styles of envelopes. And then you got these little plastic folders, and the idea was to make these little cards to put a smile on somebody's face. So when you're out and about, you might hand one to the grocery store clerk, or when you're at the craft store, hand one to the checkout person as you're paying for your goodies, and just people that you meet along the way that look like they could use a little smile. And so one came with the original kit that I ordered, and then of course I got a second one with this kit. Now this kit was really loaded. Between the 2 kits, the original kit and the refill kit, I have a ton of envelopes left. And the reason I do is because the first time around with this kit I made A2 size cards. So I have all the envelopes from that. So I still have the stamp set, and when you when you buy a refill, it doesn't come with this another stamp set and spot. It's just all the consumables that you need. I have a ton of these little vellum coral pieces from both kits left over. I have some palm trees left over. These are some of the little leafy sprigs that are left over. I have some twine, and I think this is the original twine that I had. I put the new twine away already. It came with some vellum die-cut circles. Here's another instruction sheet. Here's some glittered sand dollars and starfish. And these are all the labels that are left over from the original kit. I still have a full sheet of these little leafy sprigs. I have 2 full sheets of labels. One is plain white and one is a little bit of a wood grain. I have all the sand dollars from the refill kit plus most of the starfish. You can see that I used a few. This is my leftovers from the first kit and part of the second kit. Here's the leftover negative pieces from the sand dollars and starfish. I love that glittery paper, and I just couldn't bear to throw it away, so I thought I'd try to punch things out or use it in some way. And then I kept the negative of the trees, although I did throw away the other ones, and I'll show you a card that I made where I fussy cut around the negative tree and used it as part of my card design. So that's what I have left over. What I'll do is I'll put these all into other boxes where I'm sorting different components that are left over from the kits and then use them in other projects. Now I decided this time around I was going to make all small cards. So that is what I did. My mat keeps sliding. So I ended up making 17 cards. And in no particular order, I'll show you what they are. So I paired them up each with an envelope, so I'd be sure to have an envelope for each card. But here I took some of the leafy sprigs and just put it around one of the vellum die cut circles. And then I used Grapefruit Grove ink from Stampin' Up! And just sponged it on the little vellum coral pieces. I used a Copic marker to color in the starfish, and then I popped up the sand dollar with dimensionals and added a little linen thread bow. And then from Grapefruit Grove ink I stamped "My Day is Better Because of You," and this sentiment is from the kit. All of the sentiments I use this time are from this kit. So here's one. This is where I cut out the negative of the palm tree, and then I used dimensionals and popped this other tree right inside that opening. Here's some of the vellum coral and some of the leafy sprigs. This is popped up. It says "Just a Little Smile." For this one, I made an easel card. So I used some of the leafy sprigs and the sand dollar and starfish and coral. I took a punch from Stampin' Up! It's called Detailed Trio Punch. I used this little part right there and just punched out one of the corners, but this little card will stand up. And this piece right here that's popped up is actually the flap of one of the envelopes, and then the inside layer right here is from the paper of the envelope. So we've got that one right there. Then I've got this one right here where I just layered some of the leafy sprigs and coral and added some starfish, and a sand dollars popped up, a little bow in the center. "My Day is Better Because of You." This one, "You Made My Day Special." And so a sand dollar and some leafy sprigs and a starfish and a leafy sprig. For this one, I went into my sticker collection and pulled out a package of Jolie's little shell stickers. They're foamy. They're soft foam, and then they have glitter on them, and they came with a little rhinestone. It says "You Made My Day Special." And I just paired each little shell with the vellum coral and a leafy sprig. Here's one that's similar to this card in design. I just turned the sand dollar and starfish over to the back side so that there was no glitter. This is the negative of where the coral gets pulled out from, and I just backed it with some Pool Party or Coastal Cabana cardstock and just cut it diagonally so I'd get a triangle, and then just put that together as a card. Here's one where I used one of the tree die cuts. It comes with the sand, and I popped that up with foam tape and then put a single tree just flat against the card. And then I used a Wink of Stella pen on the water. I just dotted it here and there to give it some sparkle. This is popped up. You made my day special. And then I tucked behind it a glittered starfish and some of the coral. This one is similar to this one, except I didn't use another tree. I just used some of the leafy sprigs behind it. All of the pieces are flat on here. I did not pop them up. And then I took one of the, let's see if I can find it quickly. I took one of these vellum circles. Where is the opening? Here we go. I took one of the vellum circles and I just placed it on the card base and just sponged. I used some distress ink. I think it was scattered straw. So it just gave a hint of some sunshine behind the palm tree. For this one, I pulled out the die cut coral. I used Grapefruit Grove again to sponge on some color, and I popped it back into the negative piece that it came from, and then just put a sand dollar on top and tucked 2 starfish on each side, and added a linen thread bow in the center of the sand dollar. This one, here's one of the vellum circles. And I just put that down first, and then the tree, and then I used a die from Gina Marie Designs of a little Adirondack chair. And then this is a Jolie's sticker. And this card is actually, the card front was actually used to die cut a tag that I used on another card. And then I just took the negative part and glued it to the front of a Coastal Cabana card base that I cut myself and layered it on there, and then this says, "You made my day special." And then here's the card where this tag was cut from this card front right here. And then I used one of the vellum circles and one of the little foam shells, and I turned the leafy sprigs over to the back side so they were white, and then added a little bow at the top. And then this background piece was one of the stamps in the stamp set, and I just stamped it with crumb cake at the top and the bottom opposite corners. For this one, I used another die. Not sure where this die came from, but it's a window die, and I put some foam tape behind it. I added some acetate to the window, to the back side of the window, and then I added it to the card front with a tree, and then die cut this little cat, make it look like it was sitting on the windowsill looking outside. And just a little smile, and I stamped the coral inside. Here is another easel card, and here I used one of the vellum circles and just the glitter starfish, a leafy sprig, and a bow. And again, this is the flap of an envelope, and then this was just some white cardstock. So we've got that one. Here's another easel card, but this is going in this direction. So I added one of the die cut palm trees with sand, added a Jolie's sticker with a little leafy sprig behind it, and then on the label I stamped, "You made my day special," and then had another leafy sprig coming out in this direction and a glittered starfish. And then for this one, I put 2 trees flat against the card base. I popped this one up with foam tape, glued it on top of the label that is also popped up with foam tape. It's stamped "You Are Amazing," and then I had little bits and pieces of a leafy sprig, so I just added it to the base of the tree. And then here is the last one, and it is also an easel card. And for this one, I'm having it being held up by the shell stickers, the little foamy, glittery shell stickers. And then on the card front, I have a palm tree, a label that's popped up, and it says "You Made My Day Special." Here's a vellum coral and a little bow. And then on the inside, I used another label and stamped "Thank you, it means so much." So there is my other card. So I've got 17 little tiny cards all together, using up the refill for that kit, and I still have quite a few ingredients left over that I can use for other projects. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me. I will leave a link down below to Linda's channel so you can see how she made up her kit this time, and then I'll also leave a link to the the alternative cards I made originally from my first kit that I had. And now I'm off to create.